One thing I've been thinking about for Marvel Spider-Man is how they can actually continue the series, maybe potentially without Peter Parker. I had a video talking about if Peter Parker would die in the game, if that's even a possibility, but realistically, they're probably not going to do that in this game. They'll probably do it in a third game. I think Miles being in this universe and Peter getting older, it feels like they would go that direction, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Maybe they're gonna be doing the happy ending route, but I have a weird hunch that this Peter won't be Spider-Man for long and will eventually die or stop fighting crime. We also have Green Goblin possibly coming soon, so who knows how that storyline's gonna play out. There's a multitude of stories that they can draw from for this game, but the fact that Miles is even in this universe, I just don't see Peter becoming old man Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Maybe he does grow old, has a baby with MJ, and they go that route just to kind of make fans happy, because it seems like that was a very positive thing that happened in Across the Spider-Verse, so I could see them doing it here too, but I could also see them do the dark route and just killing Peter with Green Goblin outright. And if they kill him off in a third game, the way that they could actually expand a universe, or at least expand the multiverse, is to take Miles, have him do his own thing, maybe even throw the multiverse in there, have Miles kind of like go through his Spider-Verse arc, maybe not a one-for-one or anything, but him exploring the multiverse or the multiverse coming to him and having him see how he kind of deals with that. I personally think that that would be a very fun take to kind of go for Miles' character and branch him out into different ways. Like I said before, and I'm probably going to mention again in this video, Insomniac has made Rift Apart, which is, you know, a game all about going through dimensions and stuff like that, so I could easily see them doing that for a multiverse game with Spider-Man, and I would love to see that technology used in some way, shape, or form for a Spider-Man game in like a Spider-Verse way. And I think that Miles, I think a very big problem with his game was that there weren't enough interesting villains or interesting plot lines to follow through, and if you go through the multiverse, you have the possibility to do multiple villains in a bunch of different ways because, well, you're in the multiverse. You have an unlimited potential to do whatever you want in stories. So I think that they could really go in that direction with Miles and maybe even introduce Gwen in that way as well, and potentially even do something like that. Or here's another thing, I think a 2099 game, a Spider-Man 2099 game would be fucking perfect. Like, I'm genuinely being serious. The cyberpunk setting of Nueva City would be stunning, and if they made that on the PS5, oh, I know for a fact it would be mind-blowing, bro. It would just be incredible. I would love for them to bring the gliding asset back too, because that would just be the cherry on top of the 2099 traversal. But just having this completely different setting, in my opinion, is a huge selling point of this game and could carry it a long way with the world building and the lore that they can inject into this game's open world. They could literally make Spider-Man Cyberpunk and release it and make so much goddamn money off of it, they don't even understand, I don't think. Like, this game would sell like hotcakes if they really try it, and if they really want to make a spin-off game that's very different compared to what they did with Miles Morales. Either you could do 2099, just all of his stories, just do everything based in 2099. You could do some multiverse stuff if you really wanted to, maybe introduce him in the whole Merlin thing, the whole spider clan thing that wants to kill every Spider-Man and basically eat them. That's something I could, what is it, the Inheritors? That's what they're called, right? I think so. Edge of Time could be an inspiration, and time travel could play a big part in the gameplay, with you not only playing as, of course, Miguel Spider-Man, but maybe even Miles Spider-Man and Peter too. It opens up the door for a lot of possibilities from Insomniac, and what we've seen from them, of course, was Rift Apart. I would love for them to do this. I would want to see that dimensional gameplay featured, like I said earlier, and I would want to see how they actually expand upon that even more. And like I said before, again, with Peter dying, like if they did that and then you get a time travel back in time and kind of like in many ways like interact with that type of Peter again, oh man, people would love that shit. Like everybody loves this Peter from my knowledge. Like everybody enjoys this interpretation. They love Yuri, and I think that many people would also just love to potentially go back and see him again if they do that and they kill him off and they kind of go a few years without him. That in that way they could bring him back just in a different way with time travel. There's many things that they can do. I mean, the ball is up there, and it's actually very interesting to see Insomniac kind of try to branch out and do something like that if they ever did do something like that. I think that would be a great way to expand the Spider-Man character into a different realm of gaming, and everybody loves Spider-Man 2099. I mean, like Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions, everybody loves the 2099 versions of that character. Everybody is so popular with him right now because of what they did in Across the Spider-Verse and what they're probably going to do with him and Beyond the Spider-Verse as well. So I'm genuinely curious to see Insomniac's take on that character, on Miguel O'Hara. They could bring in Lila and stuff like that. You could have her kind of be like the Cortana of this game, in many ways kind of guiding Miguel in the right way, or even just trying to have some emotional depth with her as well. Maybe she is just really basic in the beginning, and then she slowly starts to evolve as an AI throughout the game and starts to become more human, or at least more emotional, or Miguel's trying to push that out of her as well. That'd be a nice little plotline to play with. You can introduce all of the villains that we have in the game for Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales, but in 2099 versions. You already have all the assets there. I think this would be like one of my favorite aspects of seeing anything in 2099 is how they would reimagine these characters into that 2099 setting, maybe even giving them a story that rivals that of the original characters they're pulling from. I also think a female Octavius or even a descendant would be a pretty badass plotline. Just there's so many different things. Like I even said, the inheritors, if they wanted to, they could bring him in, start attacking Miguel. Miguel has to find a way to find all these other Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse, and then that opens up the door for a Spider-Verse game. Like there are a lot of possibilities, and hell, they could even bring Venom back if they wanted to. I think that there's enough room to innovate and do something creative with these characters, since it's such a bizarre setting and people won't even be expecting anything crazy to begin with. I mean, I'm sure they'll be expecting something crazy, but they wouldn't be expecting people from Insomniac to go deep dive and do kind of like their own thing for these villains in 2099. I would just want to see something like that. They have all the assets, they have all the potential setups that they have for these characters, and potentially even bringing some of them back into the future, making some of them like immortal or some shit. Like Dr. Octavius is still on fucking his deathbed or something, just surviving, he's like immortal. That'd be interesting to see. So there's a lot of things that they could do with the villains in the 2099 settings in this universe, and I would like to see them continue their stories in the future games. There's so many assets that you already have for those characters that you could pull from, all these storylines that they could do for their own thing for Insomniac, and I think it would be very interesting to see what they could do with that universe. Another thing that they could also do is like Flipside or something like that, like a Spider-Man variation where you could play as multiple different Spider-Man in this game, and it's all about kind of just branching out into different ways to kind of include Spider-Man in this game. And again, I feel like if they're going to do a 2099 game, in some ways people are going to be expecting some type of time travel or multiverse stuff, just simply because of Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions. So perhaps another potential incredible aspect of the game would be giving you that ability to play as multiple Spider-Man, or maybe even just make a full-on Spider-Man game that is inspired by Shattered Dimensions, but with more than just 4 Spider-Man. Now that would be like perfect. It would be literally amazing to go and kind of like take that type of game and do their own type of thing with it, where they're not just doing just, you know, Spider-Man Noir or like Spider-Man Ultimate or something like that. They're really gonna go deep diving into some Spider-Man lore and find absurd Spider-Man variants that they could do for a type of multiverse game that you get to play with and like kind of just go on like different missions with. It would be so interesting, and it's a perfect time to do it. Right now the multiverse is so popular, so they could do that and try to play upon that in the games, and 2099 is literally the perfect catalyst for this. It would be just very fun to see a Spider-Man 2099 game, and I would absolutely adore Insomniac doing it. That's the one and only people that I want to see doing this game, and I think that they would do just the perfect job on it. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. You guys have always been killing it with the support. I've been loving making these videos. The green screen's really fun to kind of play around with and try to see what you guys like. So go ahead and tell me what you guys thought in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future. I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.